Recording has begun. You may
All
take
right.
it away, sir.
Well, hello everybody. How you doing? I'm Tim from Las Vegas.
I'm Sam from the Pacific Northwest. Good to see y'all.
Yes, it is good to see everybody, and we are here again today, getting together, chatting, and spending some time together, like we do every week, right, Sam?
That's right.
Yes.
Need
So how you
my
been?
need my fix a Tim.
There we go. There we go. You had a good week late this past week?
Boy, I tell you what, it has been something else. We've just been constant go, 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 go. It's been a good go, 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 but good night. It would be great to just be able to take a breath, if you know what I mean. It's just,
Oh yeah.
We're in that part of the year where in the fall, everything ramps up because of extracurriculars, and in the spring, it's the same way. So fall and spring are very similar where we are, and everybody is just firing on all cylinders right now as far as extracurriculars are concerned, and that includes me and Jesse. We have our extracurriculars that are firing on all cylinders right now too. So it's just been busy, 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 and it's not really work related stuff. It's just life, it's
Yeah.
everything. For example, this weekend, Friday was kind of chill, but then Saturday we had our live Q&A. We had a little bit of chill time, but we used that to go grocery shopping. Then we had to have my son at his flag football game, like a jamboree type thing, where he had 2 30-minute games, just so people can, the teams can kind of feel each other out and that kind of thing, and get, prepare for the first game, which is this Saturday. And then immediately after that, we had a hockey game. It was the last hockey game of the season, so we watched that. Sunday, Thursday night, I'm working tech crew. Sunday morning, tech crew. So that's all 3 services Sunday morning. So I had to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning and didn't leave until about 1 o'clock. Go eat breakfast. Go eat lunch. Go home and drop the kids off. Sit on the couch for, 10, 15 minutes. Head back out the door for a dinner meeting at the church for city group leaders, which we are. And then Monday just began with editing our top 10 for that JT and I recorded for the Spring Spectacular. And that took a lot longer than usual, because what I'm trying to start doing is I'm trying to put gameplay example pictures in all of the videos that I edit, and finding ones that are either shareable or no rights reserved, where people don't care if you use it or not, is really hard. And it's almost just as much time as if it would take, to an extent, not really, but to an extent, it feels like it's almost about the same amount of time that it would take to actually set the game up, snap a picture, and then put it away again. But the problem is that I don't own all of these games, and so I can't do that. So I have to take time to find ones that people will allow you to share, and then making sure that I get all of the attribution, because a lot of them, they say you can share it but attribute it, and that's fine. I don't mind that. I think that's a good thing to do, but it just takes so much more time. A video that would take me 2 hours to edit now takes me 3 hours, or sometimes, depending on how many pictures I have to find, how many games we've gone over, it might be 4 hours. So that took me most of the day Monday, and then it's just been one thing after other. We had to go to another city to look at a car for my stepdaughter Daphne, and it's been go, 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 go. And today, I'm a buddy of mine from church asked me to help him drive him over to another town, because he's looking at buying a car and some spare parts from a guy that's about an hour and a half away. So that's going to be most of my day today. So I'm going to post a short on my channel saying that there's not going to be a live review today because I got to go do this. It's been that kind of stuff all week. It's good energy type stuff, but it's just boom, 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 boom. So it's been good, but it's just the way it is. What about you? How you been doing?
Oh, good, man. I haven't been as busy, fortunately. Been chill. And we're just doing just a lot of, auditing, autopsy, whatever term you want to use for the convention still, because we it's all fresh in our mind. So we want to write things down, making phone calls, getting things in place so we can improve on this year. And, Dave and I have come to the realization that, we can't run it like a little mom and pop thing, which we have been. Because it's just basically like been us two, and we just worked our butts off, and this is the 11th year, and it's only been for the past 2 now that we've both been, well, actually one since I just sold Meeple, that we've both been full time. So all building up to that, Dave was a full time teacher. I had Meepleville and other things going on. So we just need to take on more help. So we put out a call for some staff that we're looking for to help us out. And we're just really excited about the prospects for the future, right? We just, we really want to do the best we can to keep on continuing to make it a great event and even better each year, So just been spending a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. People don't realize sometimes how much work goes into putting on one of those conventions. It's like, oh, you just rent it and everything kind of falls into place, right? No.
But it's not just like with the convention, Sam. It's like with the same thing like when I had Meepleville, the board game cafe, or any kind of business. If you have a business and you've got systems in place, or you've got things in place, convention, whatever it is, people only see the front facing part, right?
Yep.
They don't see all of the sweat and effort and everything behind the scenes. And they're like, oh, like a cafe. I used to get it all the time. How hard could this be? You put some shelves up, you get some sodas and chips, and you can run a board game cafe.
I've only looked into running a game store, let alone having cafes and snacks and all of that other kind of stuff. And it's a big ball of wax, bro. It's a big ball of wax.
Oh, it is. Just to give you an example, with like trading cards, right? CCGs, Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that kind of stuff. So I have a friend of mine, he's really into that here in Vegas and in his retail store. And he was explaining it to me and things that I didn't even know. What people don't realize, you just get Magic, it's like printing money. Yeah, it may be at times, but if you're involved in all CCGs, a lot of it is speculation, right?
Yep.
So a new set comes out, a new this, whatever. What you do is you buy a lot because, hey, you want to make sure you have the product to sell your clients or your customers. And then all of a sudden that series tanks. So it's kind of like, you may make a lot of money on one set, but you may lose your butt on another set because or different kinds of types, because that's part of it. And people don't see all of that. They just see the successes and not all the failures, right?
Supply and demand is a fickle mistress, man.
Absolutely.
You think you're riding high on cloud 9, and then that cloud just dissipates.
It does, and what's funny, because we were talking about that with the board game industry. I know we bring this up a lot. We talk about this a lot. I was just talking to my friends last night when I was playing games. It's I don't know whether it is in the zeitgeist of society now, but with the attention span or the lifespan of sort of a lot of things is shortened down. Like I brought up last night, Unconscious Mind. I was like, remember when that came out? We all played it. Great game. We loved it. Great hype. This and that. And it's like it was there for like a week and it's gone. Like it's totally out of the conversation, out of everything. It's
Cult
just so weird, right?
New Cult of the New. That is, you are describing that. Cult of the New.
Cult of the New, but it's just the lifespan of things. I understand the Cult of the New, but the lifespan of not just board games as we experience in our hobby, right? And just a lot of things in life, the lifespan is just getting shorter and shorter and shorter on so many things, right?
You're correct. I remember when I was growing up, I don't think I ever witnessed my parents buying a washer and dryer. I don't think I witnessed that once.
Right. Yep.
And I think I've had to buy 2 or 3 since I've been an adult. Things just are not made with any real inherent value. It's like, yeah, we're going to make it and it's good enough. It'll work until the warranty runs out, and then they'll have to fix it if they want to, or just buy a new one. And most of the people who service, well, not most, but some, they charge prices that are so expensive that it might just be cheaper to just go buy something new than have an old one fixed. So, and I think that kind of plays into that. That's kind of a standard setter of how people think. Well, if this isn't brand new, then it's not worth anything. Try to sell, like we've been looking at, cars, and it's like trying to find a good car with low mileage is super hard to do, because first of all, you have a budget. Second of all, you have people that will sometimes just outright lie to you about how good their car is. And it's like, I don't know about that. And so we've been really getting into the practice of making sure we get the VIN numbers and checking the VIN numbers, checking the history, the title history, and all that kind of stuff. And we had one guy, it's got a rebuilt title and it's all this, and we're like, well, that's a red flag. Okay, so can we have the VIN number so we can check it out? And there's no rebuilt titles on the history of the car, of the VIN. There's only salvage ones. And so salvage and rebuilt are very similar. The only difference is that a rebuilt title means that it's been rebuilt and it's passed an inspection by the state, that it's now worthy to be drivable again. But a salvage title is like, this was basically just bought for junk and bought for parts, and it's been deemed by an insurance company to have been totaled. And we asked the guy about it, and he was like, it's got one small dent in the front fender, and we called our insurance company about it. I was like, man, that's not, an insurance company isn't going to salvage a vehicle because it's got a small dent in the fender. So it's just, too many red flags, you just have to move on. But it's so hard because people nowadays just don't see value past a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might have something to do with it, but I think the like you were talking about the washing machine example, I think in the past companies' mission statement, or I'm trying to think of the term, is they wanted to make a good washing machine that would last a lifetime. That was their business. That's what they did. Now, you hear these stories and conspiracy theories all the time, and there's people who like work for companies who you can find, articles written, videos, whatever, who can attest to it. That, for example, car parts are made to last just a year, because the business isn't making a good product to last a lifetime. The business is the repeat business. You know what I mean?
Repairs.
Yeah, and just keep on customers coming back. So it's just the mentality, again, in just my opinion, and again, people have found this to be factual, that companies just don't build things to last a lifetime. They build things to make sure that they can keep on generating revenue with that item. Yeah.
Yep. Totally get that. And even that kind of pulls over into the board gaming. If you squint your eye, hold your tongue just right. That kind of feels like, at least on the offset, on the surface, the deluxifying of old games.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like people are, they're taking they're taking that pig to market again, and they got to shine that sucker up a little bit to make it look happy and new.
Exactly, because I'm past the point of where I can't find it to be a mistake or unintentional. And again, I'm not picking on anybody, but let me just move my camera here. Sure. So if you look right up there, that's the Agricola. You see that big box hanging over? That's the Agricola all-in kind of super duper thing or whatever. And then that's maybe what, I don't know, 3 years old, 4 years, I don't know. They just announced a super duper remake Agricola now, and I think companies, and again, I blame us as the consumers because we're idiots.
Exactly.
Right. Yes. We'll pay for everything. Right.
I don't know. I like you calling me an idiot, but I have to agree.
I'm going to call you an idiot, Sam, because I'm calling me an idiot too. Yes, we're idiots because we just freely fork out our money, keep giving it back, and we complain about it, but we're doing it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and speaking of lifespans, they don't even pretend to like wait 5 or 6 years. They put out a deluxe edition 2 years later, super deluxeified added components. 2 years later, super deluxe. It's like, to me, it's almost written into the business plan. We're going to put out a product 2 years later, deluxeified. 2 years later after that, super deluxeified. It seems like it's written into the business plan, you know?
Yeah. But that's a cool thing, though. I that's still kind of our choice.
It is. Well, it is our choice, 100%.
And you're right. And you're right. We are kind of heaping that upon ourselves, right? Because they know that we know that we want it. So it's like, I'm going to make this available, and you're going to purchase it, because if you don't, you're going to kick yourself after it comes out and you see how awesome it is. And so you're not going to be able to resist. And we have to get to the point where we are able to resist it.
But we're not. Like I said, I'm calling myself an idiot. I just because again, I'll show you up top. So if you look back there, that's the War of the Ring, that really deluxe super, the first one they made, that big thing in the back there, that book, you know, and that's like, I don't know, it's like $3,000-$4,000 or whatever. It's really hard to find. So they came out with the 10th anniversary. I got that sitting right over there. And just about 3 months ago, they came out with the 15th anniversary or whatever, another thing. And guess what I did? I bought that again. I don't even play that one up there because it's like a collector's edition. I don't even play the 10th edition I got over there. I'm going to buy this one. I'm not going to play that either. What am I doing? What is wrong with me?
I don't know. Here's what I'm planning on doing. Okay, so for example, when the Santorini Super Deluxeified edition came out, I bought that. I'm waiting for that. I late pledged it, so late pledges aren't actually shipping yet. I'm waiting. When that comes in, I'm getting rid of my old copy of Santorini. I backed Champions of Midgard 10th Anniversary Edition, all in. I'm an idiot. I know. I got it. But when that comes in, the copy that I have of Champions of Midgard, which has both of the expansions in it, it doesn't have all of the deluxe pieces or anything like that. But when my 10th anniversary comes in, I'm going to give the other one away. So it doesn't help from a fiscal standpoint. You're not going to recoup your money just by giving your stuff away. But at the very least, you can have at least some of that justification that I might, you know, I don't have 4 copies of the same game behind me on my shelf. I've just got one, but it's a really, really nice version.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You should pare down and keep that in mind all the time. Yeah. I mean, we can go on about things like that like forever.
Absolutely.
But so I know you brought up an interesting topic. It was you threw it on me at the kind of the last minute. So
I did, man. I'm just trying to keep you on your toes, Tim. That's all I'm trying to do.
You are keeping on your toes. But it's a very interesting topic about the top 5 games if you had to restart your board game collection all over again from day one, from zero, literally zero, empty shelves, nothing. What would be the top 5 games you would start your collection with?
So the idea for this came from not an original idea from me. I did an interview with a Turkish content creator called Keepers of Fun, Nezi at Keepers of Fun. It's a content creators over in Turkey, and apparently they have a customs department that is pretty stringent on. And again, I don't know all of the ins and outs. And he was trying to be very gracious with his explanations about it. So their customs department, they apparently have restrictions on what you can order outside of the country and have it delivered to you. And one of those things that are stringently restricted are board games. And the total that he gave me was that if you order a game that out of country, you have a restriction of 30 euros. If it costs more than 30 euros, you can't have it delivered to you. And it's not this thing where you can order it, but we're going to heavily tax you and give you all these fees. It's not like that. You can't order it. if it costs more than 30 euros. Well, if you think about it, after shipping, and that's another thing, shipping is included in that restriction. So if you have something where shipping costs $15 or 15 euros to ship to you, you've got 15 euros to spend on a game. That's like a card game at best. Being in that kind of situation where what you can order online is so heavily restricted by a customs department, he came up with the idea of asking people, other content creators, what are the 5 games? You live in Turkey and you can have a friend bring you 5 games in their luggage when they come to visit you. What are the 5 games that you are going to ask them to bring to you that you basically just can't live without? I just thought that would be a great thing for us to talk about. And it's a little bit selfish because I already have my list. Um, but but Timm is the bomb, and he came up with it, and so that's what we're going to talk about. I'll go first. Okay, this is not in any order. So there's definitely ones that would be top the one, but this is not in any order. All right, so basically, just give a brief, the name of it, name the game, and then just give a brief description about why. Why is this one of the 5? That's all you have to do. All right. So my first one is Century Golem Edition, and Century Golem Edition would be one of the 5 because when I was thinking about this topic, I actually asked Jessie, my wife, what are the 5 games that you would bring? And so I kind of took her 5 and took my 5 and kind of ingratiated both of them in together. And this is really kind of a family game for us. This is a game that almost any one of the kids, one of the 3 might have more problems than the other 2 in certain aspects of the game as far as teaching it and so forth. But generally speaking, any one of our 3 kids can take this game and teach it to their friends at any point in time. This has actually happened at game nights where they've actually sat down and taught a game of Century Golem Edition to new people, and it's a game that everybody in my family is comfortable with, and we've all played it together, and they can take it and teach it to other people without me having to sit down and do it. And that's one of the reasons why Century Golem Edition made my list. So that's my first one.
Okay. That's a great game. I mean, I know people, I'm just one of those kind of old school nostalgia types, and just the Century Spice Road. I'm like the cube pusher. I know. I know. It's still it's the same exact game, just with
it is. It absolutely is. It just, instead of cubes, you've got these really cool translucent gems, and the artwork of all the golems. It's so much better, in my opinion, aesthetically than Century Spice Road, but it is the exact same game.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a great choice. So again, just like Sam with his list, mine aren't in any order, and I'll just go with how I wrote them down. So my number 1 is going to be, and I'm going to be real specific about this. It kind of ties into what we were just talking about. It's the Castles of Burgundy Super Deluxeified Special Edition. So I'm being real specific. So a couple of reasons why. So number 1, it's one of my all-time comfort games. I just love Castles of Burgundy. So that's more of a selfish reason why I'm keeping it, because there's other reasons, like you were saying, forever your family. I've got some games on that here too for other people, but Castles of Burgundy is really a selfish reason. One of my comfort games. Number 2, there's this one group that I play with, like Chris and Veronica and Greg, and we play with everything: the terrain, the animals, the tiles, build it all out. And it's just, I just love playing that game with that look and the pieces. And it's sort of more on the side of a selfish pick, right? For me only, even though I am looking to play with other people, of course. That's one of the criteria, right? To play with other people. Yeah, but Castles of Burgundy Special Edition would definitely be on that list.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you that the Special Edition needs to be the one, because I played the old school copy of Castle of Burgundy at our last Steamers West game night.
It's
It
beautiful.
needs that special edition, brother.
Yes, yes.
It's something. It's pretty rough. All them cardboard pieces, and
Yeah,
those pictures are so stinking small
I know.
on some of those buildings. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so bad. But no, that's a fun game. It's a good pick. All right, my next one is going to be one that I didn't even think about until my wife mentioned it, but it absolutely fits the bill. And this is Foundations of Rome.
Oh, good
Uh,
choice.
Foundations of Rome, and the reason that this one hits is because we can take Foundations of Rome and teach it to just about anyone, whether they're a tried and true hobby gamer or they're just getting into the hobby, or maybe the only experience they've had is Monopoly. Anybody can sit down and learn how to play this game within about 5 to 7 minutes. Because it's that simple to teach. Now, there's a lot of stuff that comes along with it that you can add into it and make it a slightly more complex than what I would consider it to be a gateway experience. But it definitely has the ability of being a gateway experience. And on top of that, the bling factor is off the charts
Yes,
because of
super
all of
awesome.
those miniature buildings that go. The game looks so good on the table, and it's one of those games that I use as an argument to say that it's not just complex games that should get deluxeified versions,
Yeah,
because games that are simple and have those deluxe components, yes, I get it. They cost more money. I understand that. Some people can't afford them. I understand that. But my thing is that more often than not, the games that get that deluxeification are the really complex ones that are hard to teach and hard to play. That doesn't have to be the case. And Foundations of Rome is the perfect example for that. That's why it would be on my list.
yeah. Foundations Rome. That's an excellent choice, and you're right. It's almost to the point with the production that jokingly, I just say how Foundations of Rome is sort of the epitome of like just over gross indulgence, like in a board game. You know what I mean?
You are correct.
And it's just so over the top in a
Yep.
good way. Again, I'm poking
Yes.
fun, but it's one of those kind of things you're like, yeah, this is totally unnecessary, but it's necessary. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
It's just
for
phenomenal.
example, a buddy of mine has the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition from Awakened Realms.
Uh,
He's brought that to our church game night exactly once, and he's played it exactly once at our church game night. Foundations of Rome is almost staple level status. We always bring it to the thing because more often than not, people want to play that game because of how simple it is. It doesn't take a long time to play, and it looks amazing on the table. So
yeah,
it's just that why can't we have games that are easy to teach, easy to play, that also look like it's this overindulgence? I
yeah,
think it's really
absolutely.
cool.
It is. Yeah, that's a really good choice. So my second one is going to be sort of in the same line like you were saying, because again, a lot of the thought that went into this is, of course, I'm not a solo gamer. People play games by
Right.
themselves. And that
Yep.
now that's a big thing, right? It's almost standardized that a lot of these Euro games, heavier ones, almost
Have solo
mandatorily
mode.
have to have a solo mode. Yes, and I never do that. I don't do that at all. But this game was for the same reason, like you said. It's easily teachable, easily accessible. People can get into it, and it's fun. And that's Millie Fiore. Now,
Hmm.
I think it's the same thing where Millie Fiore can teach relatively simple. It's kind of straightforward. It's intuitive. You get your cards, pick one, pass, stop, play that one card.
Mhm.
I have found that when people play it, they teach it, they like it, they want to play it again because it's really easy to grasp, really easy to get into, and it's at that level where I feel that I can play with my cousins, my wife,
Mhm.
non-gamers, and they would really enjoy Millie Fiore. And it's got a nice table presence too, and one of the big things, there's really not any room for AP. The turns are quick. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You got your one card, just pick up your
Yeah.
diamond, play it in that one area. You don't have a lot of choices of where you can put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it goes
Mhm.
where that card is. So the game moves along fast. And so for those reasons, I would definitely have that game on my shelf.
That's cool. I've never actually played that game, so I wouldn't be able to talk about it at any length, but it's cool beans. My next one is going to be for the two-player game that I would want to have for my wife and I to play together more often than not. And this is a fairly new one to the list of considerations at the very least, because it's a brand new game. It's got Vincent Dutrait's artwork in it, which is one of my favorite ones, which is one of the contributing factors to making sure it's on the list. I had to make sure that at least one of them has my favorite artist in it. And this is called Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle Earth. My wife and I love playing two-player games together, and this is the one that is probably just... It's more of a hotness pick right now for me than anything else. I probably would feel like I'm missing out if I chose this one over some of the other ones, but I think I still would because of how great the game looks, how much both of us are invested in the intellectual property that the game uses for its theme, and how much game is packed into that small package of a two-player game. I think it feels like a much larger game than it is. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to include it as well. But I wanted to include at least one two-player game, and this is the one that just beat out the rest while I was putting together this list. So it's a great looking game. It's got a lot of mechanisms that are in it that on the surface level don't really feel thematic, but after you get through and play through them, they are super thematic. Having Frodo and Sam race the ring to Mount Doom while they're being chased by one of the Black Riders, trying to gain alliances from the different peoples of Middle Earth, the area control aspect of it on the board. All of those things are super thematic. Even the layout of the drafting pyramid is in the shape of a ring. So I guess I can't call it a pyramid at that point, but the third age is in the shape of a ring. And I'm like, dude. And if you go back and look at Seven Wonders Duel, which is what that game is built upon, they even have the ring in Seven Wonders Duel. So part of me wants to, that conspiracy theory part of me wants to think that this was originally a Lord of the Rings themed game, and they just used the success of Seven Wonders to sell it when they didn't need to. They should have just put it out Lord of the Rings to begin with. But it's a great game, and it would absolutely be one of the 5 that I chose.
Yeah, that is a good game, and it's so amazing how almost the general consensus agrees that it's a Seven Wonders Duel killer, right? That people have found that, they sort of like, okay, I'll keep Lord of the Rings Duel. I don't need to play Seven Wonders Duel anymore. Good choice for a two-player game. The next one on my list, so I had Castles of Burgundy, which is sort of the comfort game. Again, it's that medium level game. Millie Fiore is sort of the intro like game. So the next one I picked is sort of in between, where it's kind of like medium weight, I would say. And again, I'm going to be a little bit more specific about this. And that is Ultimate Railroads, which is Russian railroads with the American, German, and Asian, I think it is, expansion inside the box. And to me, Ultimate Russian railroads, and then with the expansion, especially German railroads, I feel it's relatively easy to teach. I feel it's relatively intuitive, just simple worker placement, not a whole lot of thinking what to do. And people seem to understand it, get it. It's got that engine building thing, a goal reaching. It's got a lot of different things that people enjoy. And I think it would be it's a game that satisfies me with the level of choices in the game, the level of the puzzleness, figuring out which track, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But also knowing that I could bring pretty much anybody into it to enjoy that game with me. So it satisfies me on a whole bunch of levels, I think, if it had to be one of those 5 games on the shelf. So that would be Ultimate Railroads.
This is a 3.4 complexity. So it's within that mid-range, But I've played this game before, and it has been quite some time. So your memory is much fresher than mine would be, of course. But I remember this being a pretty heavy game, even back when I was into a little bit heavier games. So the thought processes that are there might keep it a little bit on the higher learning curve, on the higher end of the learning curve. But if it's one of those games that is like, we've used the term before, kind of like a comfort game. It's just one that you're very familiar with, and you like all of the different expansions and how well they work together. I can definitely see this as being one of those 5.
Yeah, and it is one of kind of my comfort games too. I really do like it a lot.
Yeah. Well, definitely within that comfort games category for my family, and this is again one of the ones that my wife picked on her list, but I definitely see it, so I include it, and that is Marvel Dice Throne. Marvel Dice Throne is a great little dice chucker. And for us, we like King of Tokyo. We like Yahtzee style games where you're rolling dice, saving some, re-rolling, and you get a certain number of re-rolls. We love games like that. We also are Marvel fans, so it's a great little convergence of two things that we really enjoy. King of Tokyo is not bad, and of course, it's the one that really kind of made that mechanism for us, at least, one of those kinds of mechanisms that we look for in games. But Marvel Dice Throne has a simplicity about it now that it just makes it easy for us to play, easy to set up. Here's your character. Here's my character. We open up that game trays box, set everything out, and we're ready to go. Even other games that are very similar dice rolling games seem to have much more setup than that. And that's one of the reasons why we picked Marvel Dice Throne. On top of that, we also have the ability, because all of those different characters can play against any other character in the Dice Throne universe, and it's still a viable game. There's not going to be anything that gets broken or anything like that.
Right.
That's another reason why we chose Marvel Dice Throne, because we do have some of the other characters like the paladin and the angel and the vampire and all that other kind of stuff that still work as part of that Marvel Dice Throne system. And that's one of the reasons why we picked it. And this is definitely one that the kids can take it, go play it on their own, go teach their friends how to play it. We've been at conventions where they're at a loss for what to play. They don't necessarily in that mood to go try to find somebody to play a game with. So they'll just go to the library, pick up a copy of Dice Throne or Marvel Dice Throne, and go sit and play it. So, and they do that on their own. So that's one of the things where it's just, and I enjoy it too. It's not just like I'm taking this for my family. No, I really enjoy it as well. So that's definitely one that would be part of the 5.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really have a dice chucker on mine, and people do enjoy dice chucking. And like you brought up King of Tokyo. Yeah, because I worked for Yellow for many years. But the one sort of big drawback about King of Tokyo, unfortunately, is it's a knockout game, right? But other than that, it's like everything is just fantastic, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, Marvel Dice Throne is too, but if a person gets knocked out, then the game's over. It's not like there's player elimination like there is in King of Tokyo.
Right. Yeah. So my number 3 is it's funny that you said Russian Railroads was 3.4. I'd be interested if you could pull this up to see what this is. This is sort of what I would consider heavier than Russian Railroads. I wonder if it is, but that is Underwater Cities. And yeah, what is the number on that? I'd be interested to see.
Pretty sure it is. This is one of JT's favorite games. Yeah, this is a 3.58, so it's slightly heavier.
Okay,
but according to public opinion, at least.
Okay, yeah, to me it would be much more. I'm surprised that Russian Railroads is that much. But anyway, so again, it's more of a selfish pick. But also, I keep thinking, okay, I only got 5 games, so I have to teach people, right? There could be my wife here who's not a gamer. There could be other people. But I'm like, you know what? I could eventually get them to learn it or whatever. But it's just got so many aspects that I love in a game. It's got your individual player board that you're building in it. You get the satisfaction, like in Agricola when I first started, how you have your farm and you build the fences and animals and it grows. So that's really satisfying doing that.
Yeah.
The card play is just satisfying. Building your tableau of cards with the actions, the not worker placement is more action selection because it's not necessarily a worker. And just the 3 phases of the game, how it grows and you get your big income of resources. So it's just got a lot of like ebbs and flows in parts of the game that just always keep me like really, really engaged. Just like I'm just always waiting and coming for that moment. And just everything about it, I just would definitely want that to be a game that I would, if there's only 5 years on the shelf, that would scratch my heaviest itch and there's a lot of components in it that would keep me satisfied. So definitely Underwater Cities.
That's good. Yeah. It's been so long since I played it. I can't really talk about it, but JT has been talking about it a lot on, like we just did, I think it was on his top 5 science fiction games. Okay. I totally get it. It's one of those games where you're like, yeah, that is a pretty cool game. All right. My last one is, probably one, and this is definitely a selfish pick. Now, my wife enjoys playing this game. I've played it with Dante, but I don't think Daphne's ever played it, and I don't think Aiden's ever played it. But it's my favorite game of all time, and that is Blood Rage. I cannot.
Big surprise there, say.
I know, shocking. Oh no, Elizabeth. Yeah. So it's just one of those games where I would, if I don't think I would ever forgive myself if I didn't pick my favorite game of all time to be left behind when I started my new collection. I just don't think that would happen. Now, it is not a completely selfish pick. This is a game. This is probably at the top, the top upper end of complexity rating that my wife will actually enjoy. So, and playing it 2-player doesn't really work. So you have to have at least 3 for it. I mean, it works, but it's not very fun as a 2-player game. But with 3 and 4, that's where it really kind of sings. If you have 5, it's too much, in my opinion. So I usually just swing with 4 or 3 players for a game of Blood, and it's so fun. It's one of those games that, sometimes when you keep playing a game, after a while, you're like, I think I'm good for a little bit with this game. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's just kind of, I'm kind of burnt out on it. That's not Blood Rage for me. Every time I play this, I keep thinking, man, I love playing this game. I wish I could play it more. And it's just something about how all of those mechanisms, the theme, yes, of course, is one that's dear to me. I love games that have Viking themes on it. But just even beyond that, it's the area control, it's the card drafting, it's the synergy of the cards as you put them into your clan that where you can score more points. Everything just it's one of those comfort games for me that I don't have to read the rule book anymore. I don't have to. Every once in a while, there's a nuanced question where I have to go, I wonder what that is. And I take a quick, oh yeah, it's this, and it's just one of those comfort games that it's just so much fun that whenever it hits the table. So it had to be on those 5, on the list of those 5 games that I take.
Yeah. It's funny because as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I kind of misinterpreted the topic a little bit because you clearly said 5 games to start your collection. But I was kind of thinking only 5 games in your collection. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay, there's a difference between that and starting a collection. So when you explained it, how you would feel guilty not starting your collection without that game, I'm like, oh, okay, there would have been different games I put on there then, because with that in mind, right? So my last pick is a new game. It's probably it's just I don't even know if it's a year old, right? But it has just immediately shot up into one of my backpack games when we did our panel. And every time I play this, it's one of those kind of things. Everybody, and I'm assuming a lot, right? Because I'm saying everybody at the table has had a good time, but I can be pretty confident that enjoys the whole experience, and that is the gang. Yeah, and it's again one of those games where, to me, it's more sort of tense, intriguing, fun when it has the maximum player count of 6. So the higher the player count, the sort of more compelling the game is, in a sense.
Sure.
I mean, it's good at 4. It's okay, but 5 really gets, you know what I mean? So, and again, it's one of those kind of things where the majority of the time, you really don't have to sort of teach the game. I mean, you got to give just like a little, 1.5 minute, 2 minute, how it just works. But people pretty much know poker, know the ranks. They got the little cheat sheet. So there's not a big barrier of entry to getting into the game. So that was one of the big points for me, the 6 player count. So that's the game out of all these games I have on here. That's the only one that goes up to that high player count. So I can have 6 people, and just the tenseness and the variation in the levels, because you can just play the basic and it's got like 3 or 4 levels. So how you can ramp up and get your people into it. So even in that small box, very simple game, there's just a lot. And I would definitely want that game to start a collection, because it's one of those kind of things, sort of like, you give them just a little taste, that if I were to give people a little taste of the gang, they'd want to play more games with me in gaming. You know what I mean? So there's just so much about that game that I love. I would definitely have that.
That's a good one. I can definitely see that. And 6 players, if a game handles 6 players well, that's a really valuable game asset to have in your arsenal, because I can't tell you how many times we've had just 6 people and we really want to play a game together, but we also don't want to spend 3 hours doing it. And games like The Gang, the Art Project is another one that I found handles 6 players pretty well. And most of the time, 6 or more players, you're really talking about a party game. And
Correct.
That's sometimes not the vibe that you want at your game night, especially if you're with a bunch of hobby gamers, So to find non-party games that can handle that many players well, that's a treasure. So that's a good pick.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, no, that was a really interesting topic. Made me think.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on now. I got that curveball for you now. Because this is based on an actual thing that happened to Nezi at Keepers of Fun.
Okay.
So you have your friend bringing you these 5 games.
Yep.
And the customs department at the airport stops them and says, you can't bring all of these games into the country. You have to only choose one. And that's only because the border agent is a gamer and he feels for you. So he's going to allow you to bring one and only one. So which one would it be?
Well, looking at my list, to me, it's an easy, simple answer. And that would 100% be The Gang.
Yeah.
Like without question, because, are you getting those dings? Is that messing up things with my phone? You don't hear them?
No.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Because connected to my laptop, whatever messages come through.
But anyway, you're a dingbat. I get it. You're a dingbat. Okay.
There we go. You dingbat. You know what's funny is I bet you, Sam, 70% of the people watching this don't know that, right? Remember we were talking about that the other time about how you like the people around, play with people around your age, so cultural references they understand.
Yeah,
I would dare say the majority of the audience doesn't know where dingbat came from. Anyway,
you're right.
But yeah, without a doubt, it would be The Gang, because it's one of those kind of things I'd be like, wow, I'm gonna have to leave my Castles of Burgundy special edition behind. Are you kidding me? But I know we're gonna have a great time when I get there with The Gang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 100% easy answer. Yep.
Absolutely. At surface level, it was definitely 100% easy question for me to answer too. And my initial response was Blood Rage, because it's that one that's my favorite game.
Right.
But after I thought about it for a little bit, I was like, this might be one of those times where I have to take one for the team and choose Marvel Dice Throne instead, because I think Marvel Dice Throne would get much more playtime than Blood Rage would, even though Blood Rage is my favorite game. I think my family would benefit more from Marvel Dice Throne in the long run than they would Blood Rage. So I would probably defer to Blood Rage see, that was the Freudian slip right there. I just went, but no, I would defer to Marvel Dice Throne because I know my family would probably play it more often. But yeah, that was a hard one. That was like, man, really? And the added thing is that actually happened to Nezi, and I'm like, dude, man. And so it led into, we don't have time to get into it here, but it led into a lot of different parts of the conversation, like how spoiled we are here in the States. We can just order anything and have it delivered to our home. And then other people in the world are having to, they're almost having to print and play some of these games just to be able to experience them because they can't have them shipped to them. So it's just one of those things, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yes. So 2 things for the folks in the who are watching this. Number 1, in the comments. Go ahead and write in the comments below what would be your 5 games, and also out of those 5, what would be the one that you would have to keep and you would take with you that Sam gave you. And number 2, absolutely, if you know where Dingbat is from, it'd be interesting to see.
Stand off, old people of the world.
There you go.
And I do want to say this. I'll put the link in the description below, but go check out Nezi and Keepers of Fun. He's a great guy, and so I'm new to them, so I can't vouch for all of their stuff, but at least go check them out and give them a like and subscribe if you see fit. But he's a cool guy. Had a great time talking to him, so go check out Keepers of Fun.
Yes, absolutely. And it's been great. Another week for you being with you, Sam, talking about good things. And also just a last second reminder too. This is March, April, May, June, July. I believe the next Dice Tower event, which I'm pretty sure it is Dice Tower East.
Dice Tower East.
Badges are on sale now, so you can go to the website and they're still available. So go ahead and attend that great convention back east in Orlando. So make sure you check it out. And again, watch all the channels, the shows on the flip side, watch all the shows on the Dice Tower and all that kind of stuff. And,
yes, sir.
Keep playing games.
That's right.
Just having fun. But Sam, again, as always, it's fantastic. I will see you next week. As usual, I know you're really busy for the rest of the day, so have a great day. And tell Jessica I said hi.
Will do. All right. See y'all later, people. On the flip side.
Everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.